Hey Hedgies, I am here with Ashley. Can you believe she's like a newbie Hedgie and she's already on a coaching video with us? That's so cool. And I doubt that she'd be here if she hadn't openly said on a trickle once upon a time that she's a nurse through and through. And even though she's not like working with patients right now in the public, that she's willing to help us out even like personally and in our own manuscripts. And so we have a resident nurse in the Hedgie house. That's so cool. So we were on a prickle just the other day, and I realized that something that I've said a lot is you cannot be creative. Like, you can't expect yourself to be creative if your cup is fully empty. And I still stand by that. I still stand by, if you are burnt out, then you will not have things coming to, like, from your subconscious to your conscious mind to write. I don't think that that's possible. You can write in terms of like journaling, like you need to get that out, but to be like fictional and try to like put all the pieces together, that's asking of your brain more than your brain can give at that moment because it is burnt out. And so we were talking in this prickle that apparently, according to research, when you are feeling most fatigued is when your brain is at its most creative. And I have found that that is true, where at like the 3 o'clock afternoon hour, I'm feeling pretty spent. Like, I've used up my focus brain. I've started referring to it as like my focus brain and my creative brain. I think that they're using two, like, I have a feeling, and I said this in the prickle, I'm like, I have a feeling that they're using two different sides or like two different things. And I couldn't put it into words. And then all I knew is that there was a difference between like morning Anya, who could get stuff done, and afternoon Anya, who's tired, but somehow could still be creative. And it was like easier to be creative because I wasn't really being hard on myself, or I didn't have the energy to be hard on myself, whatever the case may be. I brought this up, and Ashley was like, that are that's your brainwaves. I'm like, what? So Ashley did some research for us, and I am so curious to know, Ashley, what did you find out and what can you teach us?
Yeah, so I geek out on all kinds of self-improvement kind of stuff and how to figure out how the body works. So I'm always listening to new things and weird upcoming metaphysical stuff and energy stuff. And I recall a podcast that I listened to about brainwaves. And upon a little bit more research, I think you guys are going to love this little piece of information. It ties everything into what Anya was saying. And actually, it's giving you a tip and trick how to get there. So throughout the day, we go through different stages. Our brain is literally controlled by electrical impulses, much like our heart. It's what controls everything. And so if you think of that brain on a wave platform, when you're sleeping, the wave is pretty flat because your brain is not doing a lot of activity. That's when your body is healing. You're getting spiritually, we think a lot of downloads. It's just a really great place to rest, heal, rejuvenate, recover. And there's a ton of science behind cell regrowth in that phase. So delta is the lowest. The next one up is actually theta. So theta is deep relaxation. That's kind of where you go to right before bed. It's where, if you meditate, that place that you go to. You're also in that place when you first wake up in the morning. And I think I remember Chris Ann saying like she really likes to write first thing in the morning because she feels very creative. So it's that very kind of groggy, deep concentration state. Now, the place that we actually write from is our alpha state, which is a little bit busier than the theta state. Delta is flat, theta is very slow, alpha is a little bit more like this. So this is where we write. This is where ideas come from. This is where we produce. And then beta stage is our normal everyday working, functioning, running errands. And then gamma is actually like highest learning, tasting, discovering, figuring out puzzles. So what's important to know is that the alpha state is where we actually create and where we write from. But in order to get to that alpha state, you have to drop down to theta state to come out of it. So along with filling your cup feels a little bit empty. It's going into recharge mode. That's that theta state when you're just kind of like drifting a little bit and you're like, okay, I need to fill my cup. Give yourself a brief little meditation if you don't have time for a nap. I oddly enough am really awesome at guided meditations. I don't know how, like, where that came from. I'm just really good at it. And my friends will have me do it for them. So if anyone is like, hey, do you want to set up a time? I need a guided meditation. I can do it specific to kind of guide you in your brain process of where you're at, or maybe just calm things down in your life. 5 minutes, kind of drop you into that theta zone so that after you come out of that meditation, you're back in alpha zone and hopefully able to produce some creative writing. So hopefully that helps. I'll keep throwing out my nerdy little tidbits of stuff here and there, because I think if anyone can pick one thing out of a way to better ourselves, we'll all be a little bit better.
Amen, sister. Thank you so much, Ashley, for sharing that with us. I had no idea that you like literally have to like dip down in order to reach back up again. So that sounds totally in line with what I thought was going on, but you helped put the scientific terms to it, and I'm so grateful for you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.